Michael Penix was the star of the college football playoff semifinal, and he's going to be a hot name going up draft boards now. And it's good for him because, frankly, if you've watched Washington, you know how good Michael Penix is. And if you think about how his career has gone, he's had 2 bad knee injuries. He's a lefty quarterback. There's a lot of guys that are going to have questions. He's an older quarterback, but there's no doubt the guy can sling it. And he's a stud, and he's a gamer, and he is accurate, and he's got a huge arm. And I know people are deterred from lefty quarterbacks because of their history, but would you be deterred? Would you have interest in Michael Penix? Let's say the Falcons are picking 14, he lands in your lap. Would you take him?
I just want a quarterback because I'm in the business of stuff. I like content, so I'd be for it. But if I was the Falcons, no, I would not. And it has nothing to do with that he's a lefty. And he is an older quarterback, so you have to factor that in. He's kind of not reached his ceiling, but he is realizing that potential. There's not much more room for him to grow. And he's got a long throwing motion. I know that doesn't necessarily show up a lot in college because everything is slower in college, but it shows up in college in the NFL. I mean, Tim Tebow's the easiest example of that. Tim Tebow's throwing motion was a windmill. And Michael Penix's isn't that bad, but it is a slow throwing motion. And he's had catastrophic knee injuries. And so that has to be a factor. With that being said, that guy can absolutely spin it. Throws one of the prettiest footballs in college football.
Yeah.
He's absolutely nasty. And as you saw against Texas, he can stand up in the face of adversity. I mean, I know he threw for 430 plus, but it wasn't without pressure. I mean, pressure was in his face pretty much all game long. He threw on the move. He threw with pressure in his face. And those are very important attributes when we're talking about, going to the NFL and succeeding.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'm really thinking about here, and he might not even
Caleb
be
McGarry.
Caleb McGarry trying to protect Michael Penix's blind side, a rookie quarterback with a long throwing motion and stuff like that. So that isn't exactly exciting to me. The Falcons would have to immediately start looking for a new right tackle if they wanted to go that direction. I think the biggest thing and the reason I'm leaning towards no is because I like the other options more. I mean, obviously, we've talked about Jaden Daniels. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a better option as a prospect. Either of the top 2 guys, if there's any chance you can get Drake May or Caleb Williams, I think they are better options. I would put Penix at 4th. I think he's a clear 4th ahead of Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy. But if you want to talk about the entire picture of the offseason, I would say, Justin Fields is ahead of Michael Penix. I mean, I think Fields, I don't know their ages, but they're probably like the same age. You're talking about a guy with 3 years of NFL experience. So I would definitely go either of those 4 routes before I would go to Michael Penix. But listen, all those are going to be 4 sought-after routes by people that are trading, by people that are looking for draft picks, and they might not be options. And if you're sitting there and you want to give Michael Penix a shot because he's your best option, I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't hate it either, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think, an important aspect in all of this is if you draft a rookie quarterback, you might have to bring in a veteran to start. I mean, because Michael Penix probably shouldn't be starting year one, though teams kind of rush rookie quarterbacks all the time. He'll probably end up starting, but he shouldn't be. And I can say the same thing for J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix, and maybe even Jaden Daniels. The only real two day one starters I feel confident in are Caleb Williams and Drake May. And Jaden Daniels could probably just get by the processing factor in all of this just because he's just the most electric player in college football with the ball in his hands. So
another year of Desmond Ridder is what you're saying. Coming up after the break, we are going to talk Falcons playoff possibilities. Yes, they can still get in the playoffs. We are not dead yet.